All right, so we are about a couple days away from
Just 1 week before the highly anticipated Legend vs. Influencer Showdown, Mike Tyson drops a bombshell he pulls out of the fight with Jake Paul. Fans were all set to witness Tyson's legendary knockout power go head-to-head with Paul's well. Let's call it whatever you want to call it, but now? Nothing. Tyson's sudden withdrawal has left everyone scratching their heads. Was it a change of heart, or did his body finally say enough? After all, the July ulcer incident had us thinking those issues.
Now to the segment you've all been waiting for, but on November 15th at AT&T Stadium, Mike Tyson will enter the ring to battle Jake Paul.
Issues were behind him, yet here we are, back in the same spot. The fight was rescheduled for November 15th, 2024, at T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. After all the drama and delays, the showdown was back on, and now the question on everyone's mind was, will Tyson bring the thunder, like the old days? Or will Jake Paul finally get his chance to step into the spotlight? Only time will tell, so stay tuned. Tyson's last-minute pullout from the fight with Jake Paul had the entire boxing world on edge, raising doubts about everything from his health to his dedication to the sport. Fans and pundits alike were left wondering what Tyson's true intentions were in this matchup. And let's be real, it doesn't help that Tyson has developed a bit of a reputation for canceling fights due to health issues.
When he finished boxing 20 years ago, he was shot. Agreed? Like, you don't, I mean, I know you don't upset anyone, but everyone agrees with that. So you think that 20 years on, it's okay for him to go back into a ring?
Remember the ulcer he had back in July? He had to back out of a planned fight because of a painful flare-up during a flight. It's hard to ignore the growing pattern. Now, it's understandable that health issues can crop up unexpectedly, and Tyson's camp insists everything's fine, claiming he's physically fit and back in training. But if you dig a little deeper, something feels off. When a fighter of Tyson's caliber is preparing for a major event like this, you'd expect to see an army of trainers, nutritionists, and specialists all working together to get him into peak shape. But that didn't happen. Sure, maybe Tyson's telling the truth, and the ulcer is still causing problems, preventing him from stepping into the ring. But when you zoom out, it starts to feel like Tyson might have been looking for a way out all along. Let's be honest, facing Jake Paul, a young, hungry fighter in his prime, could be a lot more daunting than Tyson first realized. And the fact that Tyson's camp can't seem to prove he's been putting in the work only raises more questions. Fans are skeptical, and they have every right to be. This isn't just a minor setback, it's a huge letdown for fans who were eagerly waiting for this fight. They were promised a true clash between two generations: Tyson, the aging legend, and Jake Paul, the internet sensation looking to prove himself in the ring. But now, the whole thing's canceled. Talk about a buzzkill. And speaking of Jake Paul, this was supposed to be his moment. The guy's built his entire career on viral videos, drama, and fighting people who, let's be honest, aren't exactly the toughest boxers around. But this fight with Tyson? It was supposed to be different. It was Jake's shot to prove that he wasn't just some internet clown playing at boxing. This was his chance to step into the ring with a true legend and prove he belonged. So, you can only imagine the kind of gut punch Tyson pulling out of the fight must have been for Paul. When he was about to make his mark. Jake Paul's initial reaction? Numbness. And honestly, who wouldn't feel that way? After months of intense training and preparation, all focused on one fight, suddenly the rug gets pulled out from under him. It was a major psychological blow. This fight wasn't just another notch on the belt, it was his chance to elevate his career, to prove to the world that he was more than just some YouTube star who got lucky in the ring. But now, without Tyson, what's he left with? Tyson's camp is sticking to the health excuse, but let's be real, this is starting to feel more like a guy who's trying to find an out.
That's tight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 4, 5.
Guy who's realizing maybe he's not as ready for this fight as he once thought. It's looking more and more like Tyson's pulling back. Not because
consistent boxing training. Tyson's been out of the game for so long, and let's face it, age doesn't care about your legacy. It's a tough pill to swallow, but at 58 years old, Tyson
of health, but because the reality of facing Paul's hunger and momentum.
The highly anticipated fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson has a new date. They'll face off in AT&T Stadium on November 15th. That fight was originally scheduled for July, but Tyson recently suffered a flare-up of an ulcer that impacted his training schedule.
Is hitting him hard. Maybe Tyson just isn't physically ready to go toe-to-toe with someone like Jake Paul, who's younger, fitter, and far more accustomed to the grind of daily boxing training. Let's face it, Tyson's been out of the game for so long, and age? Well, age doesn't care about your legacy. It's a tough reality to swallow, but at 58 years old, Tyson might have come to the hard truth he just isn't in the shape he once was. What a wild ride this has been. The Tyson vs. Paul fight, which was supposed to go down in July, never happened. Tyson pulled out, and the whole thing was called off, leaving fans absolutely stunned. But just when you thought it was over, plot twist, Mike Tyson is back, baby. That's right, the fight is on again, this time set for November 15th, 2024, at T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. But guess what? The drama's back too. Same episode, same drama. Remember 2 months ago when everyone thought Tyson was going to shuffle into the ring with a cane and a walker? Now, suddenly, here he is rolling back into the ring in classic Tyson fashion, probably with enough power to turn every punch into a viral meme. If there's one thing we know about Tyson...
You're a legend, but let's get right to the chase. Is this fight happening or not?
It's happening. We're all here.
It's that he's the ultimate plot twist. Apparently he's been training at least, that's what we're hearing. And even if he's a few years older, don't be fooled. The man still packs a punch that could knock down a building. But, just like the ulcer fiasco back in July, we all figured he'd have it together by now, right? Meanwhile, Jake Paul's scrambling. Fans are pissed. And the boxing world? Well, it's still got a big hole in its calendar. Talk about an anticlimax. But the big question remains, will Tyson actually show up this time? Is he really going to step into the ring and go toe-to-toe with Jake Paul, the internet sensation turned boxer, who's clearly not here just for the casual fans' amusement? After all the drama, the delays, the health scares, there's still so much uncertainty. So what's going to happen? Well, here's the answer: yes. Tyson is showing up. The fight is happening. And trust me, it's going to be one for the ages. Then there's Jake Paul, the guy's probably over there, refreshing his inbox like it's Christmas morning, praying Tyson doesn't pull out again. Jake's had enough drama with this fight.
There's nothing to say. You're complete. Exactly, just enough. Beautiful roll, Mike. Excellent roll. Excellent defense, champ. This is the perfect head position. This we talk about it. 40 seconds. You are winning the fight, so there's no reason for you to rush. We are winning the fight. All good for us.
Interesting tidbit there. Now, again, obviously, they're sparring like Mike is fighting. The fight is 8 rounds. If you guys don't remember, here it is. Scheduled for 8 rounds, 2 minutes and 14-ounce club.
To fill an entire season of reality TV, but hey, we get it. He's been waiting for his moment to prove he's more than just an internet personality. This is his shot to step up against a real boxer, and it's finally here. This is Jake's time to shut the critics up, or at least try to. After everything that's gone down, one thing's for sure, the fight of the year just got even messier, and probably a lot more entertaining too. Will Tyson show up with that iconic "I'm back" baby energy? Will Jake Paul rise to the occasion, or is this just another chapter in the circus? Mark your calendars, because the drama is far from over. Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture here, the celebrity boxing trend. The Tyson-Paul fight is just the latest in a growing wave of high-profile, celebrity-driven matches that have started to...
Do you want to talk about something you've said about Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, and you said, listen, I'm not going to watch that last fight, I'm going to walk out. Why?
Because I think it's just disrespectful to the sport, but I don't want to see it. I don't want to watch.
...dominate the combat sports world in recent years. But with Tyson pulling out, it's hard not to wonder how sustainable is this whole trend. I mean, let's be real. Aging legends like Tyson stepping into the ring with influencers and YouTubers. At this point, it's starting to feel more like a circus than a legitimate sport. Sure, there's entertainment value, but at what cost? If we're being honest, it feels like a cash grab. Tyson wasn't exactly a spring chicken when this fight was first announced, and now that he's pulled out, it's clear that the whole thing was more about capitalizing on nostalgia and hype than showcasing real boxing skill. Let's talk about the fans for a second, because they are livid, and honestly, they have every right to be. The hype around this fight was massive. Tyson vs. Jake Paul wasn't just another random match.
The highly anticipated fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson has a new date. They'll face off in AT&T Stadium on November 15th. That fight was originally scheduled for July, but Tyson recently suffered a flare-up of an ulcer that impacted his training schedule.
So, here we are 1 week out.
It was supposed to be a clash of the generations. Tyson, the aging warrior, trying to prove he still has what it takes, and Jake Paul, the hungry young up-and-comer trying to carve out his legacy. Fans were ready to drop their hard-earned money buying tickets, purchasing pay-per-view, and eagerly anticipating the showdown. And now, they've been left high and dry. People were looking forward to witnessing what could have been a historic moment in the sport. Instead, it's all gone up in smoke. Fans had every right to be furious. Imagine forking out thousands of dollars for ringside seats, thinking you're about to witness the fight of the century, and then finding out it's canceled. That's a gut punch. So here we are 1 week out in the Tyson vs. Paul fight is finally on after all the chaos, delays, and drama. But let's be real, does anyone really know what's going to happen? Tyson pulling out in July raised a lot of eyebrows and had us all questioning whether this fight would ever actually go down. And then there's Jake Paul. Is this his moment to finally shut down the haters and prove he's more than just an internet personality with boxing gloves? Or will he step into that ring and realize he's bitten off more than he can chew? This isn't just about two guys trading punches, it's about legacies, egos, and proving that the spotlight doesn't fade when the crowd stops cheering. The big question is who's going to walk out of that ring victorious? Is it Tyson's grand return, or will it be Jake Paul's moment to shine? Time's ticking, and we're about to find out.